Oh, oof, that game.
Yeah.
That game was kind of rough for me.
So one thing already that I don't like is that you can do Dark Harvest if you want to. I don't like hate it, but I prefer Electrocute because it gives you more power in the early game, and that's like the weakest point of Brand, right?
Okay.
Because you will
Yeah.
proc Electrocute like off your passive and then 2 spells, right? So you get a lot more like damage in early fights.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I go Dark Harvest. Like I said, I don't have that much experience with the champs, so I just copy
Yeah,
the one tricks guide and I try to. Yeah,
yeah,
it is
that's fine.
here. It was what I said that I went just face check that and it was not good because here
Right.
it could be really bad if I didn't have my teammates. So it
So
was my bad here.
here's
Even if
how the game generally works level 1, right? Either you decide to go 5 man at one point, right? Like, I don't know,
Mhm,
like let's say you have an Nautilus, you decide to like invade them, whatever, right? This, probably. The other play is that you use
mhm.
5 point cover, right? So someone stands here and someone stands here, and then someone will stand in mid lane and etc. Right? You cover all the entrances in case enemy
Yeah,
invades,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Mhm.
So what this Lilia is doing, right, is he's just covering the entrance. So when we start walking into the entrance, well, he's gonna
Obviously,
start
she's
finger
there.
pinging. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this is like not something that always will happen, but this is something you should expect to happen.
Mhm.
And then it's like, I mean, if we don't die here, I mean, that's great, of course. But yeah, it's a bit awkward.
Yeah, but yeah, it was awkward for me. It was not a good idea. So it's but if I wanted to put a word there, it was not like that, or it should be delayed.
No, preferably it should be
Or
delayed. Usually, like, it's harder to put wards on like enemy blue side jungle than it is red side jungle. Red side jungle, you can easily like walk in, right, and just place a ward. Blue side,
Mhm,
you can have to walk in, and then like if you ward a blue or whatever, right, you often get less value out of this ward, and it's also harder to place, right?
mhm. Okay.
But usually you would wait a bit, right? And then maybe you start Raptors or something like this, Or like you start Red. But that's another thing, right? If you walk in late here on this side, you're gonna have.
Mhm,
It takes a while to walk back to your Red, right? If you walk in here on this side, it doesn't take that long to walk to your Blue.
mhm. Yeah, like here I started the bot side because I thought the main condition was the Volibear because I can my champ is bad at ganking with a Yumi and Ashe. It was going to be even more complicated.
Yeah. So I can already tell your clear is a bit inefficient, and you say you don't play the champion that much.
Mhm.
So that I can't share this really. Uh, Whatever. I'll make sure you get this link later. But either way, like in general, there's like a spreadsheet, right, for like clears in general. So for example, here we have brand clear, right? And one thing I
Mhm.
notice you don't do is that you don't stack your passive, right? So on brand, when you're clearing Krugs here, for example, what you can do is you can queue the first Krug, and then you wait until the passive is about to run out, then you W, and then you queue, and then you get your passive stack on it,
Mhm.
right?
I can do that. I thought
Yeah,
yeah, I thought the passive would just pop when I had the three
yeah. So you can
the
see here,
three
for example, he
mhm.
queues, and now he waits with his W, right? And now he Ws, and then he's gonna have his Q again, and then he's gonna proc the passive.
Ah,
Right.
okay.
So this is like an idea on brand, for example, and I mean, it's like in general, if you haven't played the champion, it's of course hard to know.
Mhm.
As I said, I'll get you that link later. I have it somewhere.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
thanks.
but it's like, oh, this is wrong game. I'm stupid. Um,
That's really true.
no, it's like in general, right? So our clear becomes a bit inefficient, right? Um,
But how do I know the time of the passive? Is if I click
yeah.
the
So if you click on the Krug,
the
right,
monster?
it
Yeah.
will say like usually like here are your buffs, right? On the other side over here are your like debuffs, right? So
Yeah.
it's a
So
similar thing like on the Krugs, like you can just click on them and it will show like a timer on when it's running out, right? Like
okay. Yeah, I was trying to figure out the time. I didn't know if because I'm click, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not clicking like
yeah,
to see the spec the start what the status. Yeah.
yeah. And we're also taking like a lot more damage than we have to because of this, right? Because the camps are taking longer to clear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But we can
Like here
see, yeah,
at
go,
level 3, I start to clear faster because of the passive. But
of
yeah.
course. But it's like you can see here our clear speed, right? Here now
Hmm.
we're like done, right? 331. And he, if you like, I'm not saying you should reach this time that he has, but he's like 307, right? For example, on the red side start. right?
Mhm.
So that's a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of like min-maxing we can do. Imagine we have 20 more seconds where we can like play the game. Maybe we could have gone for a gank here, counter gank. Maybe we just win the game off it.
yeah. Here I got greedy. I really wanted this Greg, but I didn't get killed. But it
Yeah, I
was not
mean,
that bad.
going for this is generally fine. The big thing for me here is that we used our second smite on this blue buff, right? Which we don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
be
yeah,
doing, right? Generally, like if we were gonna contest this scuttle crab, we want to have 2 smites for it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And
Yeah,
we end
here
up
my
living,
plan
so we're like, "Fuck."
was going to be bot because I didn't. But yeah, like then the Lilia killed
Yeah.
my bot line, so I couldn't do the Drake.
Yeah. So, what is the plan now for this game? I mean, both long term and what do you think your short term plan is of like this clear?
Yeah, like as a brand, I usually see that people like to go to Krugs because in this particular game, I think it's good because we have a volleyball that likes to split pushing.
Mhm.
So main objective was going to do Krugs because it's even more easier to do with Brand because of his passive. So
So,
I was doing this to go to now to top
yeah. So, why do you think people like doing grubs on Brand?
because the White Krugs, the mini ones, just proc
Well,
the
that's one
constantly.
thing. That's one thing, right? You can do it fast, right? But it's also like in general, grubs give a lot of XP.
Hmm.
If you get a lot of XP on a champion like Brand, you can start snowballing really hard, right? And
Hmm.
a champion where you want to get individual like farm or individual XP, Wukong can also be good at this, right? Like,
Hmm.
let's say you're level 5 on Wukong and your goal is to get to level 6, you can just go do the grubs and you will get level 6 a bit faster than you would otherwise, while still claiming an
Okay.
objective, right?
Hmm.
So this is like one idea. Now, why are we walking
Okay.
towards this direction? Is it to just to check the Drake or what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanted to order Drake to know if he was going to do
Okay,
the Drake where I was going
yeah,
to do the fight correct.
sure.
Because I had time, the Void Krugs was going to take a while still.
Yeah, but why are we not clearing our camps here?
Oh yeah.
Right, because we're playing a farming champion, right? Anytime we give up these 2 camps, it's like 2 camps were weaker. And this is not bad, like going for the Raptor share or whatever, right? But it's like, we're kind of standing around
Hmm.
for like here, like 20 minutes, or like not 20 minutes, seconds, right? Like we could just walk
Yeah,
to
yeah,
our
yeah.
wolves here and just farm those. And if we feel like, okay, skip the Gromp and we do objectives instead, that's fine,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
every play we make is 1 camp, right?
Hmm.
So 1 objective, same thing, 1 camp.
Hmm.
So it's like generally how it works, right? If you want to go for a mid lane gank, like let's say you're playing Wukong especially, like you can do it on Brand as well. Like you might skip Raptors if you're clearing this,
Hmm.
right? And then you just go for
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then you clear these. And it can be fine, right? But we have to make sure that it's worth it for us, right? We don't just want
Okay.
to be standing around for 20 seconds, right? That's very inefficient, right?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, here I died because like I said, I got greedy again. I don't know why I tried to go with. Yeah, then I got. If I
Yeah,
looked if I didn't, if I had the camera on me, I could have sent the Q, no, it was the E. Yeah, the
yeah,
really he. Here I was greedy. I should have just gone to my jungle.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like similar thing again. We're skipping a lot of camps, right? And especially on farming champions, we can't be skipping these camps, right? I would rather have
Yeah.
you get every single one of your camps permanently than like
Hmm.
like maybe miss a play. Like it's
Hmm.
much better to miss a play like on
Yeah,
this
yeah,
kind of champion. Because if you try to go for a play and it does not work out for you, and you're playing this kind of
yeah.
champion, you're just gonna fall behind. And if you fall behind with this champion, your champion is useless because you have no utility, right?
Hmm.
And this is probably a large reason to why your like CS is usually not that high. I'm not saying like it's lower. Like here we can see like if we when we press tab, like we are higher CS than this Lilia, right? But she's gotten a lot more
Hmm.
players off, right? And it's not like we've done
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot or anything like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She can be like 10 CS behind, but she has 5 kills ahead of me.
Right. And another thing, right, is that I don't really care what she's doing, but it's like if we look on this clear right now, like when we start this, if we look beforehand here, let's say we had cleared our topside camps before we did the like void grubs, maybe we skip one, that's fine, right? And now we
Hmm.
clear the red buff, and then it's like, instead of like taking this fight, we like get like Krugs, like we could easily be like 12, 16 more CS here, right?
Hmm.
And it's like, let's say her she's plays don't work out, then it's like her in the opposite direction. We're super far ahead and she's super far behind, right?
Hmm.
And if she ends up getting a lot of ganks off as a Lilia, then it is what it is. Like honestly, like that's unlucky, you know. Our job as a jungler is to track what this guy wants to do, right? That's, for example, why you go for the level 1 ward, right? And then, like, so if you, let's say, know she's pathing topside and you see a Volibear playing aggressive, you should be pinging him, okay, you have to chill out, you. These kind of things, right?
Yeah.
If he does not listen, that's not your fault.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like right now, when we're 73 CS, we could easily be like 90 CS even, almost, right? And it's really fed. I wouldn't try to contest every single objective right now, because I think it's hard for us to do so. Because she's way stronger than us, right? So, for example, here, maybe reset instead, maybe look for like a gank bot lane, something like this, right? Maybe look for her camps bot side, something like that. Because if you think she's gonna be doing them, if you don't think she's gonna do them for whatever reason, then that can be valid. Here, this I don't like. This is just inefficient, right? We have all our camps up, right? You see. It's similar thing again. I don't see why we're like going Raptors first, right? There's a few things we can do. If we want to go Raptors for some reason, go Raptors, and then you go this camp, and then you reset, and then you go topside, and then you clear down again, right? And then your path is fine. But what are we staying for here? Like, what is your goal, like, now? When do you want to reset?
Because I will have the Leandris.
Yeah, I mean, right. So it's like, if you think you want to reset for the Leandris, you reset now. If you for some reason think you should reset for Leandris plus boots, you can stay, right? It's like, in general, you think about, okay, what are we actually doing on the map, right? Like, because here, what ends up happening, right, is we die, we walk back out onto the map, we contesting, like, grubs again, we end up getting, like, a somewhat decent fight, right? Like, where we get a kill. And now we're rich, right? So it's like, if we want to do something now, like, I think we should do something now. You see what I mean? But it's like, there's no reason to stay here. Because the truth is, if you want to check his camps, okay, go for it. That can be fine, right? Then you have a reason, okay, you can't take his camps later, take the camps now. But once you check this and you see, okay, his camps are not up, for all I care, press recall right here. Because you walking over to the Raptors from here, it takes the same amount as from base.
Okay.
Right, so the only reason, like, thing you're not doing, or the only advantage you get out of this is the fact that you can go mid lane in between. Right?
Okay.
So, if you for some reason think you need to be mid lane, look mid lane, and then, you know, see what's going on. And if you don't need to be there, we just reset.
Yeah, okay.
And it's like, generally, our clear wants to match up with whatever we want to be doing, right? So, like, let's say here you want to be playing the Drake, right? Which it seems like you want to be doing after this, right? Then you wouldn't clear your bot side camps now, right? You would wait to clear them until you're, like, actually contesting the Drake, right? Because in 30 seconds, right, you can't take your top side camps because Drake is spawning in 45 seconds, right? So you need to take these now, right? So let's say we check this, we reset when we realize, okay, like, there's no topside camps up. We get Leandris, we go out of base, we take these camps, we go bot side, we take the Drake, let's say, or we fight the Drake at least, right? And then we go back into our jungle and we clear our camps, right, that we have left.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
Because now what happens, right, is that we clear our bot side camps, and then we reset for Leandris. And now we're like, oh, we want to fight Drake, and now we're just walking around again in a sense, right? So now we clear the Drake, and now we're inefficient, right? Because now if we want to clear our camps, we have to walk topside. So we don't... So what ends up happening, right, is that we clear the Raptors once, and then we don't clear any more camps, except for the Krugs, until our Raptors spawn again. So we completely ignore these topside camps, right? And we've done this like right.
Yeah.
We've done this like 2 or 3 times now as well, right? So these topside camps, right, could be 24 like CS-ish. And this is the difference between really fed, right, and not being fed.
Yeah. This game is not really good for me.
No, and that's fine,
really
right?
bad.
But it's like, in general, thinking, because this is something I noticed on Wukong, and Wukong is a bit more excusable, right? Because you can look for these aggressive plays, right? But on brand, we have to be strong, and we want to farm.
Yeah, that's why I get a little confused when I'm doing the things, because I'm playing lots of champs, so each champ wants to do a thing in the map, so I'm trying to play brand as I was like a ganking, ganking champ.
And it's important to remember then, like, okay, just which one of our 3 champions are we? Are we 1, a farming champion, which brand would be, right? Are we 2, a ganking champion, or are we 3, a skirmishing champion, right? We can just remind ourselves of this, and then sometimes there are going to be champion-specific things you want to do, but they're not that important, right? The main thing is that we nail these 3 down first when we play a new champion, right? So that we understand what we want to do. Because even if you don't know all the brand-specific mechanics and what you want to be doing, etc., right? And maybe your clear is a bit slow because you haven't seen the clear, etc., these kind of things. If you just have the mentality of a farming younger and you're efficient in your pathing, right? And you keep clearing your camps, you're still going to be a lot more CS than you are right now, and you're still going to be fed, and you can still carry games, right? Hey guys, it's Aqsept. If you're enjoying the coaching session that you're watching right now, please consider leaving a like and subscribe. I upload coaching sessions daily right now. I also upload shorts daily. And if you're interested in seeing the sessions a bit more live and asking questions while we're going on, then just remember, I always do these sessions live on my Twitch channel, so you can go follow that, link in the description. Anyways, thank you and enjoy the video.
Okay.
Alright, and it seems like we end up getting this trick.
Yeah.
What's it called? What is the goal, or what is the plan now?
Now I mean, now I was just invading Lily because I knew she was dead.
Yeah.
So I was going to do that, and I was going to go to top side to try to ward the Baron.
When do we want to be resetting? Because similar thing as to before, we've stayed on the map now for a while. When do we want to reset?
Yeah, I should reset after. If I wanted to take the blue, I should reset after the blue.
Yeah,
but I think I didn't do that.
Right, and it's like if you don't need a reset here, it makes sense to go into top side. Once again, similarly as before, right? Just asking ourselves, do we need a reset or not, right? And when do we need it?
Yeah.
And we're 2 items brand. We can actually do some stuff in fights now. So how do you think you want to play your champion, like in fights?
In fights, try to first of all to pop the R when they are all together, because that's going to do lots of damage.
Right.
But and after that, using my E, because they just spreads faster if I have them burning.
Yep.
But it's like just poking, being on the like the getting the Volibear to do the engage, and then I'd just be on the back, just trying to pop the ults, the E's, the W's, and the Q's. I can be the front line.
So something I noticed you do kind of often with Brand. I saw it earlier in bot lane. I see it here now as well, right? So for example, here when Poppy goes on you, you decide to W then Q. Why?
Yeah, that's a thing that when I like in the final part of the game, I just realized it was easier if I just did EQ.
Right.
I don't know why I'm doing WQ. That's just not good.
Right, because then they can dodge the W, these kind of things, right? And another thing, right, is that your W is your main damage spell, right? Especially like in the early game in skirmishes, these kind of things, right? So your standard combo is to go E and then Q and then W. And if you want to be really efficient, you can even throw your Q before you throw your E, right? Because the E is insta proc, right? So you can Q and then E and they will still get stunned, right? If you're fast enough. And then this guarantees that you hit the W, right? And the W gets increased damage and you proc your passive, right? And when you W into Q, then there's no guarantee either ability will happen, or like will hit in general.
Yeah, that was a mistake that I realized when I was like in the final parts of the game.
Yeah. So now,
no, I was going to say now here I was really clueless to what I was going to do, because with the map like this, I really didn't know what to do.
Yes. No, the game becomes rough now for you, because your champion wants to farm, but your champion cannot farm when the game looks like this, right? So what you try to do is you try to take camps when you can, and for all I care, you try to take waves when you can, right? Because, at the end of the day, we still want to be the one carrying the games, right? Like, if you think you're not gonna have any use when you take the camps, then okay, don't take the camps. Or not camps, but waves, but otherwise take the waves.
Yeah.
What happens?
They got greedy, and I could get all the kills because I'm a brand. I just cleared the wave really fast.
Yeah.
I wasn't even on the wave, and the fire just killed the minions.
Yeah, I mean, this is good. We're going.
This is the main strength of brand.
Yeah, I
He
mean, for
just
sure.
pops an E and all of them get killed.
Right. Right. Why do you decide you want Sonya's this game?
So go what?
Like, why do you decide to go Sonya?
Azonius. Because of the Lily slip, but I think that's not going to work either way because they have a Jax.
Yeah, I mean, it can be fine if you think you have a valid reason for going it. I'm just double checking so you don't like outpilot into this, right? One thing in general is that when we're behind like this, right, it's not easy to win, right? Agreed?
Mm-hmm.
We need to get some sort of comeback to win, right? The number one rule for
Yeah.
getting a comeback is that we need damage, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
mean
So
you need damage. It means someone needs damage, but in solo queue, this is often gonna be you, right?
Mhm.
So often, when you're behind, you will see, okay, like pros especially, right? Okay, they will just go full damage, right? They will just try to itemize whatever gives them damage, right? So that they can actually kill someone. And you will see when people are ahead, they will start itemizing more defensively because that makes it harder for enemy to actually get said damage and it makes it harder for you to throw, right?
Yeah.
So it's like here, for example, is Sonya's a super bad item this game? Probably not, right? Okay, it can work versus Jax, it can work versus Lilia, these kind of things, right? Like, it's not super bad. But would I go with here? No, I would just go flat out damage.
And here I got mad with myself because I saw that I could have got the Drake if I didn't forget that I'm a brand and I just can W from the wall.
That's fine.
Like I tried to go around. I don't know why.
No, it's
I
fine.
could have just got the Drake there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like here, I mean, maybe. I mean, here's the thing. We don't really know, like, I mean, that they can be on the Drake. I'm not sure we get it anyways because Asol is like execute champion, right? Yeah, should you like throw spells? Yeah, of course, but it's like it's not the end of the world, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, and here I think it's when the game is we lose the game. I
Yeah.
don't remember actually. Because I forgot to stop recording, so like 5 minutes of that is
Yeah,
me
it's fine.
just wandering around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think here because the main objective now I wanted just to get a good arc to like take F the HP of like here I thought or we win this fight or we lose the game.
Yeah.
Like it was 50-50 now.
Yeah.
Then yeah we end up losing the fight I think.
Yeah.
No, we don't lose the fight, but I couldn't do anything with the amount of the people that were alive.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, we're gonna lose soon, right? The number one thing is we just try to get a fight, right? And we try to win the fight, and if we win the fight, maybe we can get Nash, and maybe we can win the game. And if not, unlucky.
And here in is when we lose
Yeah.
because I couldn't do anything right now.
Yeah. No, so for me, like the biggest thing with this game, right, is just how efficient we are in our plays, right? Generally, as farming junglers, like we don't have to prioritize objectives as much as like on Wukong as well. If you don't want to like do the grubs for some reason, like you have camps up or do the Drake, that's fine. Often try to get one. You don't need to get both, right? Like that's one thing in this game where you try to get both and you fell kind of behind because of it, or like that was one of the reasons why you fell behind, right? Because here we did like the grubs, right? We got the grubs, we got his camp, that's good, of course. And then we like die, and then we go inside to Drake, right? And it's like we have all these camps sitting up for so long, right? And if he's just power farming during this time, we're gonna get so far behind, right? Agreed? So,
Yeah.
so we have to think about that, right? Like we don't just want to go objective into objective. This is the same thing as I said the Wukong game. Don't go grubs into Drake, right? Clear your camps, top side camps here, for example. Maybe clear your bot side as well. If Drake is still up to that point, okay, sure, let's fight it, you know? Or maybe if you notice that they go on Drake after you've done your top side camps, maybe you feel like, okay, no, but I'm actually strong here and I could fight it. Something like that. Because it's like in general here, if we go grubs as well, and then we go into Drake, whenever that was, right? Like here, if he's just doing the Drake right now, let's say, like in another world, then Drake is just gone and we use path for Drake for nothing, and we're just inefficient, right?
Yeah.
And that's something to remember, right? We have to remember this efficiency, right? And that's the number one thing, right, for me. Like, I want you to get all your camps, like, in general. And if you want to skip one because you think it's a guaranteed play, go for it, you know? But that's what I noticed mainly in this game, right? And then obviously, like, some, like, his minor things, okay, how you clear your camps, like, the combos you do in teamfights, etc., right? But I think you could have been a lot more fed this game than you were. Agreed? And that's what I want you to focus on, right? Just getting fed, right? Playing on farming style, right? If you play Brand, if you play Lilia, Talia, right? And as I said, that's like the number one reason why your CS numbers are not high, right?
Okay.
And it's like, yeah, I have a friend, for example, who plays a lot of these kind of champions, right? AP junglers that farm a lot. Let me just see if I can find it. Like here, for example, and obviously he's like a bit higher rank, but you can see his like numbers are gonna be a bit higher already, right? Like just off that, right?
Yeah,
In that
yeah, yeah.
sense. And it's like in general, that's like what you want to be doing on farming junglers, right? You just want to make sure that you get a lot of farm, right? And then that way you can be strong. And then you can take fights around said spikes, right? Once again, similar to the Wukong game. Wukong game we said, and you can disagree if you want, by the way, but it's level 6 and 1 item, right? These are our 2 main spikes. These are the ones we're trying to reach, right? If you have something else in a specific game, go for it for all I care, right? But it's like in general, fight on your ult, fight on your first item, right? When we're playing Brand, it could be a similar thing, right? Maybe not our ult is not the strongest point, right? It's like nice, right? But it could just be we try to get to 1 item or we try to get to a specific component, right? Maybe we do our first clear and then we get this, and then we're like, okay, now we're strong in a fight. Something like that.
Okay.
Just decide, right? Like what you want to be doing when you think you're strong, right? And you're gonna try out a few different champions, and that's fine. And you're gonna try out a few different styles, right? And that's alright.
I'm now like figuring out the more champions to try. I was thinking about Jax because I think Jax is like a skirmisher, like you were saying, that can be doing a bit of farming and a bit of ganking. Poppy, I think I play like from those champions that I have. I think Poppy's what's the champ that I play better.
Yeah.
But I like to play with Poppy just when like a counter pick.
Right, and it's like in general, if you want like skirmishing champions, right? If that's what you like, or if that's what you want to try out. I mean, Wukong is like the prime example, right? Belwef is like a very common one. Viego, Xin Zhao, Nocturne can be, but he's a bit more farming style in the early game. Like you have to wait for your ult very hard, right? But Jax, as you said, and you can play a few others like in a similar style. Like you can pick, for example, Vi. And Vi is a bit more of a ganker, right? Same thing with Jarvan. But these champions can like be strong in skirmishes, right? So if you want to focus more on like skirmishing with these champions and then going for more of a bruisery build instead of a tanky build, you can do that as well.
Okay.
Right, and it's like, and if you want to like, that's the main thing, like on like skirmish champions, and then obviously you will try out a few different champions, go for it. And it's like you're gonna need some time to figure out, okay, which champion like do you spike with when, and what do you want to play for on each champion, right? Of course. But in general, try it out. Maybe look at like what some other people are doing, right? It's like, and try to think about, okay, what is actually the strong point of the champion, especially after a few games on it, right? All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any other questions?
Let me think. Yeah, actually, we're talking now about Bel'Veth. Like, do you think Bel'Veth is a good champ like to train because of her like late game hyper carry style?
So
because I know that she is a little bit difficult on the early because she's really weak.
I mean, she's decently strong in the early game as well. Like the champion is not super weak in the early game. Like she can skirmish a lot. It's like, so if like in my opinion, Bel'Veth is one of the strongest solo queue champions. If you wanna try it, go for it. I have a friend like who did the Bel'Veth guide not too long ago. He's a challenger Bel'Veth player, so if you want to, I can link you that as well.
Oh yeah.
And it's like if you want to try it out, go for it, you know. Because I don't think it's a weak champion at all in solo queue, especially like you can win a lot on the champion, I think.
Okay.
And solo carry as well.
Okay. And do you think the Skarner gets in the skirmish build, or it's like more of a gank? Because I think he can do all the things too.
Right, like Skarner theoretically probably should be a ganking champion, right? Yeah. But he's quite OP at the moment, so he's probably a skirmishing champion, right? Or he can be. So it's like, the thing is like you can power farm with this champion, right, and be strong later on in the game, right? That's the number one thing for like a skirmishing jungler, or like in that sense, like you can be strong in skirmishes and you don't have to go for ganks to be strong in the game, right? If you play Wukong and you're like a lot of CS and you come into the mid game and you are like 2 items, you can do a lot of stuff, right? It's the same thing with Skarner. If you're strong in the game and you get to like 1 item, like that can be your goal. The difference between like farming and like or like not a farming but a skirmishing and like ganking jungler are 2 things. One, a ganking jungler often isn't strong on its own. For example, Maokai will not win 1v1 versus like any champion, right? He's like good at setting up ganks because he has a lot of CC, right? And similar thing with like Sejuani, right? and they don't like spike that hard on like one item, right? They can like be fine,
Mhm.
but they're like not. They can't like solo carry or like do a lot of stuff individually. Skarner is a champion that can still do a lot of stuff individually because it's very powerful, right?
Okay.
So you can work as a skirmish champion if you want to try that, like in general,
Okay.
and you have the option
Okay.
of power forming on him.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the style that I like, with the information that are giving me, I think the style that I like more, it's the skirmish one because of the versatility
Yeah,
of doing or farm or ganking.
yeah.
I think it's the what's and I don't know if that counts, but like does Shyvana count like a skirmisher
She's
because of her
more.
like
Yeah.
level 6
I mean,
or
she's more of a farming champion, but I mean, she can skirmish on level 6, right? But in general, otherwise, you really have to power form, right?
yeah, I was thinking because of having a AP champion that like fits in that style of playing of skirmish, but I don't think there is a AP that does that because all the APs I think just needs to farm.
Yeah, in general, AP champions want to farm a bit more than they want to do anything else. Like, Silas can maybe work in some games, right?
Hmm.
To skirmish, right? But it's like in general for AP champions to have power, they need to have a lot of items, and the only way you can really guarantee to have a lot of items, right, is like by farming. You
Okay.
can go for some plays, right? But if you miss like if you don't have those plays end up working out, then you're gonna struggle, right?
Hmm.
So it's
Okay.
like that's the general idea, right? And it's
Okay.
like there are AP champions that are fine at skirmishing, like Nidalee is fine at skirmishing, and Silas is fine, and Diana is fine, right? But they don't look to skirmish permanently.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
No, I think not.
All right. Then sounds good, man. Then I'll end it here. And
Yeah.
yeah, I will see you if you have any more questions in the future. Then just hit me up. Like that's fine.
Okay.
And then
Okay. Okay.
yeah, I hope it helps.
Okay. Thank you. And if you can, then just send me the link of the jungle clearing guide and
Yes.
the Belvet one
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
think it's going to.
I'll do it straight away. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. I'm going to the stream too, but yeah,
All right. Yeah.
I'm going to be there. Okay.
All right. I'll see you,
See
man.
ya.